Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor's salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
And we are live again. Cool. Just to confirm real quick, do you mind speaking just to make sure people can hear you?
Yeah, is the big green bar going up?
The big green bar is going up this week.
Excellent. All right, it's a good day on Wall Street.
We started solid today. All right. As usual.
I can in fact hear myself on stream, so we're good.
Okay. Hey.
Anyway,
starting this episode off great. Well, as usual, we do thank you for tuning into the Pass the Salt podcast live here on our YouTube channel. To introduce myself, my name is Matthew Garcia. I'll be your main host here, and I have with me today
Taylor Evans. Hello, how are you? I'll be your co-host as usual, and
okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, so with it's been a hot week here at Tech for That. We released that iceberg video, and it's doing pretty solid.
Yes.
It's nice to see the numbers go up. And as usual,
there's another big green bar that's going up.
It's very much so.
Yeah.
But with it as well, we are all, as of course, striving to meet that 100 subscriber mark for that custom URL, and we are currently one away from at least the funny number because I want to make a tweet about it. Of course, it's just gonna be a nice little screen cap. All it's gonna say is nice.
Nice.
But yeah, we do ask that you subscribe. If you give it that one there, that'd be amazing to see. Or if you feel like sharing our content, we do have a Twitter at tech_for_thought where we did tweet that we just went live. So if you want to share that tweet and get it out there, we would much appreciate that. We do also have an Instagram. I don't think should I use the Instagram to say that we've gone live?
Might as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although, actually, I don't know what Instagram's policy on linking to external sites is like. So
It's fine. I've linked to YouTube.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, I could do that in a bit. But if you want to check out the Instagram, that's going to be at tech_for, spelled FOR_thought. I think we should transition to tech_FOR for things because that just makes it a little easier. If we can get a Twitter handle like that, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But hey, all good there. We do
all
have
good in the hood.
All good in the hood, sipping tea there. But we do also have an affiliate who is
culturegaming.com, primarily gaming focused stuff and whatnot. And currently kind of dormant because I've been busy, especially this past week, doing back-end tech for thought stuff. Although it's a lot different than managing a site, but just been focused on bringing our stuff to the next level here with what equipment we have, because I am actually very close to investing in a new mic.
For yourself?
No, for everybody.
Yeah. To be
To
fair,
make
like
videos with.
like a lav mic or like a shotgun mic. Okay. Personally, it depends on the shotgun mic.
I want my voice to be crisp, okay? Yeah.
I have seen particular ones, and I have some notes of equipment that is on my list as well as a shotgun mic. So we can review that one later.
Crisp.
Yeah, we have a little tech for thought meeting when we meet up with Sean later. How about that? How's that sound?
Sure.
Nothing like talking like back end stuff live to everybody, right? What could possibly go wrong? All right, but yeah, that kind of caps it for the main stuff for all the fun little bits in the beginning there.
Is the squeaky toy going ham in the background?
Yes, I can hear it.
Like even when I'm not talking?
It's when you're talking.
Oh, okay.
But I do hear it, and I also they can't see it. They can't see your bed, but I can. I can see just like shaking around and whatnot because of Chloe, and they can't see my little doggo right here that I have sleeping on my bed.
Oh,
yeah, she's all comf. But hey, how have you been the last week? What have you been up to?
Doing okay. In terms of hardware, nothing really new on that front and whatnot. Although in terms of video, playing some Rainbow Six, some Genshin, two totally different games.
Yeah.
Got back in a little bit to a Dyson Sphere program. They've done updates quite a bit to it, and they've done some really cool hardware optimizations for it too.
Yes, it runs a lot smoother now.
More efficient, I would say.
Efficient?
Or
Okay.
yeah, you can get higher FPS targets with it, so that's cool. I was able to pick it up to
it
like
runs smoother.
144. Well, yes, but I mean in terms of like, it basically, even when it doesn't need to, it's just pushing everything to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
it's very cool.
Nice, nice. I know with it, it's for myself personally, I've been, doing a lot of helping with the back end stuff as well, trying to get things organized for everyone and tracking the numbers and seeing what's working and whatnot. So that has been a lot of fun. I've just spent like 1 or 2 hours in my morning just doing that when I woken up.
Nice.
Yeah, see what the activity's like.
Oh, I do guess in terms of like hardware stuff, my phone is going to shit right now, so that's weird. Started last night.
Which phone?
The Note.
Calculated obsolescence?
I don't know. It's like, no, Samsung, I'm not buying the Fold. Okay, fuck off. Yeah.
We should make a video about that.
I know.
Something down the line.
There was a Ice Universe on Twitter, the Samsung kitty who leaked stuff and whatnot. He was talking about how it's like Samsung really shouldn't like kill off the Note because of the Fold, because there's no audience overlap, which is fair. But he went so far as to say it's just like whoever made the decision to kill off the Note, if that's the case, should be fired or resign.
Damn.
Yeah.
The issue is like the Note has always been like spearheading in terms of like design and innovation in terms of capabilities.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. There's no other phone with the same design as the Note.
Yeah.
It's like not even the S series, just like that close.
Well, the question is, what is left to innovate or pack into a Note?
Headphone jack.
You got me there. You got me there.
Yeah.
I can't deny it. I hate having phone.
No, there's lots of things that like have been Note specific features and everything that people have appreciated, like the whole like Samsung Dex experience and whatnot. It's like if they kept that exclusive to the Note, that'd be good. Stuff like that.
Do you think they will keep it exclusive though?
No, I'm saying they haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I said they haven't, because I'm pretty sure it's at least on the S21 Ultra now. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just.
That's some news there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of news, do you want to move into our topics this week, or do you want to rant a little bit more about the Note?
It's fine. Are
you saying it's fine, but it's not really fine?
Samsung isn't the only one with things blowing up right now.
Ayo! Smooth transition there. Thanks, Gigabyte. So
yeah,
diving into the biggest news topic of this week. Oh, you can kind of see Scarlett like chilling right there. She looks like just like dead. Oh, she's sleeping so well. She played so much yesterday. But the biggest news definitely this time around is kind of similar to last week, is the Gigabytes, the P850s and P750 GMs just blowing up like Note 7s. Thanks, Samsung. But with it this time around, Gigabyte has an official response, so let's just go through that real quick and just kind of like dissect a little bit of it.
This is horrible, by the way.
It really is. So, Gigabyte is aware of certain media outfits casting doubt over the quality of power supply models, the GP-P850 GMs and the GP-P750 GMs.
I don't know why they just don't name Gamers Nexus.
I was about to say, straight up, just call out Gamers Nexus, you pussies.
Yeah, anyway.
But Gigabyte takes pride in the design and quality of our products as such. Takes reports of this manner extremely seriously and therefore would like to address the reported potential issues as follows. For desktop PC systems, there can occasionally be an instance where a peak wattage can exceed the intended usage range. During such instances, the Gigabyte GP P850 GMs and P750 GM models power supplies include the industry standard built-in safety feature of overpower protection. The OPP safety feature is designed to shut down the unit when the power load exceeds the wattage of their units.
Everything else.
And everything else. Exceed the wattage of their units was designed to operate within. The OPP was set to 120 to 150%, which is the equivalent of 1,020 watts to 1,300 watts for the P850 GM. And 900.
You should not push any PSU that far.
Unless they're rated for it.
Yeah. But these are not rated for it.
Yeah, they're nowhere near. And it would be 900 to 1,125 watts for the GP750 GM. What the hell? I mean, this is like some stupid stuff right here. Like,
Oh, keep going. It gets worse.
I know it gets worse, but just like that off the bat is like, why set the power target that high? I don't know of another company that sets the power target that high for OPP.
I also like how their logic here is basically, well, it's just like, it's the equivalent of like no one will notice if there's nobody to notice, but for power supplies, which is not the stance you want to have in particular, especially when it comes to something that blows up.
If you fry everything, then who knows what the origin was, except
And
for
yeah,
your...
they're all protected from
Yeah,
overpower at that point, right?
It's one overpower protection. It just trips once. It's then everything, you know,
One-time thing.
Don't have to worry afterwards.
Gigabyte is just mad at all the chats they're gonna have to end up cutting to people. That's
They haven't they haven't even announced a recall.
I know, which is kind of scary. I don't know.
It really is. Continuing to bulletin point 3. To address the potential issue raised by third parties, specifically those discovered during the testing via DC electronic load equipment for extended lengths of time repeatedly close to 120 to 150% OPP trigger point. Okay, I'll wait on that topic. Gigabyte has made the adjustments and lowered the OPP of the the P850GM, the P750GM to the below values. Before I read the values, if you've seen Gamers Nexus video, as usual, their reporting is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
They only ever needed to trip it once, because once they tripped it, dead PSU.
Things went to shit. Yeah.
And I think they've sacrificed a 3080 to it as well.
Yeah, because it blew up on one of their test benches.
Yeah, which is like, just why? Well, for the specific adjustments, they're adjusting it from 120% to 150% to a range of 110 to 120. So it's the equivalent of going from the 1020 watt to 1300 watts for the P850 to 950 to 1050 watts, which is
their floor is now the ceiling, essentially.
Yes. The P750GM goes from 900 to 900 to 1125 watts to 825 to 925.
At least we're seeing sub 1,000 there.
I mean, yeah, but it's still not pretty.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
At least with your Corsair GP or PSU, it died within a reasonable range.
Right. Right.
The Gigabyte highly values the confidence and trust of all customers and have in our product quality and after-sales service. Gigabyte would like to stress the potential issue that were reported only seems to occur at very long time periods of extreme load, which is also false. Testing via DC electronic load equipment and would not be typical for any real-world usage.
So Gigabyte, that little blurb there tells me Gigabyte has either not seen Gamers Nexus's multiple videos now about this subject in their testing methodology, or B, they're just choosing not to understand the testing and methodology and stuff. Because they're basically arguing, yeah, in a real-world scenario, it would never happen. It's like, well...
Okay.
If you get an overcurrent in your electrical system your PC is plugged into, then...
One of the reasons why you plan for a 25 to 50% overpower usage with your PC components is because the rated TDP and watt draw is not accurate. For the 3900X that I have in my system, it's rated for 120 or 125 watts or something like that. Bullshit. The thing draws 150 at peaks when I'm rendering videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's used to. I've undervolted it, so it doesn't do it as much. Being able to undervolt and still keep that 4.2 overclock. Oh no, did my internet just go out? Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, my internet just cut for a brief moment.
I could tell.
Yeah, right. You know what? We're fine. The stream's still going in. We're 20 minutes in. We're doing great.
Okay, cool.
But this is just such a ridiculous. Yeah, you can shoot it up to 150%. It's fine.
Fuck it.
Pretty much. I guarantee their wires in there weren't rated for, and that's why it blew up.
I don't know if I think it to me seems more of a capacitor issue as opposed to electrical fire issue. So
well,
I don't know.
It depends, because some of them were just straight up electrical fires.
Well, I'm saying it's probably caused by the capacitor being overcharged.
Yeah. Well,
as
the
opposed
the,
to-
the blowing up itself, yes. I would believe that because that's the popping
Okay,
noise.
Any further issues is probably caused by wiring.
Yeah, because
At
there have
that
been
point, yeah.
many reported instances of it just catching on fire, which would be a wiring issue.
Yes. Okay.
I'm switching it back to us. I I don't know, man. Why?
Such a defiant response.
Right?
But
Eh,
I don't know, but it's like we also bring up like the Note 7 as a joke too. Samsung did have a similar defiant response, and all things considered, if you look at the actual numbers of like Note 7s that were being like actually affected by the blow up or like had to be like repaired after the blow up or what have you, like the actual number of devices affected by it during the Note 7 scandal, it was probably within acceptable like bounds for like a normal product's like failure rate and whatnot. But the issue with it was the grandiose nature of, what was going on.
Yeah.
It literally exploding on people's nightstands while they're sleeping is not.
that was just pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's like this one has neither of those things going for it. Like again,
'Cause-
maybe a larger sample size is needed, but in gamers' Nexus experience, like 5 out of 10 Gigabyte power supplies blew up and whatnot. So it's well out of like acceptable ranges for like a product failure rate.
Oh yeah.
And also it is the grandiose nature at how they're failing too. We're talking pretty lights, explosions, fun things.
Tripping breakers.
Lee would be happy.
Dead on arrival, killing other components, catching on fire. Like, I mean, I understand like going via like the information provided via like Newegg reviews, for example. They're always going to be skewed towards the negative because people with good experiences just don't report it as often as people with bad experiences.
Right, because when you have a bad experience, you're really
But-
angry and you want to talk about it.
True. But when you have almost 50% of your reviews being the one egg because of the various reasons I've listed, there's a larger issue overall. Because they should relatively balance out. Like your 4 and 5 stars should be well like over anything else.
Oh yeah.
They made a fuck you wucky.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
You know who also made a fuck you wucky?
Who?
Onlyfans. We're moving
Yeah,
on.
let's talk about that now.
We're moving on to this topic now because
Yeah,
why
you've heard
not?
about it. Yeah.
Mainly brought to you by, of course, the LTT forums.
Yeah.
The most. So, beginning on October 1st, OnlyFans is banning prawn.
The sexually explicit content.
Yes. So OnlyFans will no longer allow sexual explicit content, aka people engaging in sexual intercourse and other various things, as a move to protect their partnership with banks and payment solutions. They will still allow nude photos and videos on their platform, though. So it's not
Okay,
as...
so outside of still me being floored that people pay for porn in 2021, like just moving past that, all right, so there's kind of a lot to break down here. So for starters, why is this a tech-related topic? Okay, the adult industry has been a pioneer in like video tech as well as like compression and server technology. So
It's very true. And if you think
Yeah.
YouTube has the best compression algorithm, it's really not even close.
it pales in comparison to others. Yeah.
Particular hubs.
Yes, with an orange logo.
But
Anyway,
as a specific statement from, it's just a funny topic to talk about. I just find it funny.
yeah.
They're still allowing like nude photos and videos and whatnot, so it's not that big of a deal. It's
cool,
just
I
more.
guess.
It's just more the
The hard shit.
yes. So official statement, starting in October, the company will prohibit creators from posting material with sexually explicit conduct on its website, which many sex workers use to sell fans explicit content. They'll still allow to put up nude photos and videos, providing they're consistent with OnlyFans policy, the company said on Thursday. The popularity of the social media service exploded during the pandemic as sex workers, musicians, and online influencers used it to charge fans with exclusive access to photos, videos, and other material. OnlyFans has attracted more than 130 million users. Just damn, that's like a third of our country right there. And the company has been praised for giving sex workers a safer place to do their jobs, but sex work still has a stigma. No surprise there.
Fair. Yeah.
The company has handled more than $2 billion in sales last year and is on pace to generate more than double that this year. It keeps 20% of that figure.
I love how it like talks about, oh yeah, OnlyFans provides like a safe outlet for sex workers to do their thing and whatnot. Well, it's like they've literally just, in hindsight, apparently they've literally just exploited these workers to have insane growth and insane revenue as a website, only to dump them after a couple of years. You know, it's actually very shitty.
Would you call this a pump and dump scheme?
I would, yeah. No, it's like, I hesitated to use that term because that's like a hookup term, but yeah.
But it works in this.
No, it literally is a pump and dump scheme at this point.
It's also a play on Wall Street, but that's also illegal.
Yeah. But yeah, seriously, it's like this is a pump and dump, you know, and also. Oh no, you can keep going. Now.
I'm sorry, I'm starting to turn red because I'm laughing too hard.
Yeah. Anyway,
considering that both straight and gay sex workers have trouble monetizing their content due to privacy and lack of incentive from mainstream financial institutions, which is true. It's with various banks, they will not lend you any form of credit or even possibly give you accounts if you deal with sexually explicit material.
Yeah. Okay. So that's another thing too that like kind of upsets me. It's like so. OnlyFans is getting pressured from Visa and MasterCard and whatnot. The same reason why a hub that deals with a certain like amount of content nuked a lot of their content also last year was because they were getting pressure from Visa and MasterCard. So my two questions is like, one, who fucking asked Visa and MasterCard? And two, also it's just like, why do they care? Like, that's the thing. On credit cards, they still charge a fee just at the same time. I understand they might approach it as, like, we don't necessarily want to support, like...
No,
support things where it's, like, that's illegal, potentially. But, at the same... Yeah, it's just...
So,
it's like, realistically, I don't think people are going to associate Visa or MasterCard with sex work and whatnot because of this, you know?
The particular thing that I could only imagine it being is that... With a merchant, say, OnlyFans, for example, compared to the Prawn Hub, so each are registered as different types of merchants, and Visa and MasterCard are in charge of making sure those merchant codes are correct. When the question then becomes at what point are they not that merchant code anymore, and they are treated differently for so. And it gets to the point where OnlyFans is, registered maybe as like a payment servicing center or something like that. Yeah. And then their merchant code comes into question of, hey, you're now, a adult, oriented platform now. You're no longer like a service platform for users and creators and visitors. So it may be that type of thing of them getting pressure because they might be treated differently. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I could imagine.
Apparently, what's coming out is like internally for Visa and MasterCard, it was all about protecting the brand image. But it's like, as I said,
I believe that's a lie.
And it's like, well, yeah, that's what's coming out now. Is why they said they did it. And then also, it's like, we see this also with them just like denying services to people they might politically disagree with also. Yeah, and it's like, that's insane. It's like, how much power is too much power, for these companies to have, It's like, it's just like, I don't give a shit what Visa's political stance is on. I just need it to function as a debit card provider, or a credit card. Yeah. It's like, I don't really give a shit, There are some companies where I give a shit what their like political beliefs are, and then others not so much.
Yeah.
Anyway,
is what it is. But
Yeah.
where was I in reading this thing? I think relatively here. Now, this will be a huge blow to their income if the industry there is only source considering that bars and strip clubs have closed ever since the start of the coronavirus pandemic last year. It was said, however, that there is still allowing nude photos and videos, but not 2 or more people having sex in front of the camera. But the user says, but if you ask me, I doubt sex workers and Instagram models having an OnlyFans account are actually earning a lot, so it's always nice to diversify and have other income sources. All right.
I guess also it's crazy that it's just like they're already working on migrating to a different platform and whatnot. I forget the name of it, but that's what I've been hearing and whatnot. It's
So
like very similar to OnlyFans. And it's like very similarly named too. I think it's called like Fans Only or something like that. It's like almost just a direct inverse of the name of OnlyFans. But like also I guess it's like thought about crypto, right? As a way to like decentralize payment and whatnot and transactions like this. The fact that that wasn't like the de facto go-to for OnlyFans is kind of shows that crypto still has a very, very long way to go.
yeah, that is very true. Crypto is a fascinating subject in itself, and it's still very young in terms of its life and maturity. And with the way those gray and red bars are moving, it's probably not going to become a standard for still quite a long time.
Yeah.
Not saying that something like the U.S. dollar is very stable with our given inflation, but that's a different topic for a different show. We're not financial advisors, so we are here to talk about tech and OnlyFans.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, so it's not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, because they're still allowing, sexual material, but not sex itself.
Yeah, it's like it's allowing nudes, but not the actual nasty. So
yeah. Want to move on to our next topic? I don't even have a transition.
Yeah, let's just do it.
What to talk about next? Let's see. While we're on the topic of like the American pie, let's talk about pie.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know, people love calculating pi as basically a dick measuring contest.
Because pi caps out very, very quickly in usefulness in terms of digits.
20
You
digits.
need like 4 digits of pi to go to the moon and calculate the volume of the universe, like 20.
Yeah.
So, past that point, it's pretty useless.
It's nothing more like whatever. But scientists have set a pi record with AMD's EPYC server at 62.8 trillion digits. Nice. Just a little bit of
run a Prime 95 test on this thing.
I was about to say that's like a Prime 95 test right there. But Switzerland's University of Applied Sciences, I don't even know how to pronounce that, week announced that it had set a new world record for calculating pi. The mathematical constant was computed to 62.8 trillion digits in 108 days and 9 hours. A record both in terms of precision and performance. The result hasn't been verified yet, however. To set the record, scientists use a system based on two 32-core AMD EPYC Rome processors, the 7542 variant, equipped with 1 terabyte of DDR4 memory and a couple of SSDs for the Ubuntu Linux 20.04 operating system. Gotta love it. The computer server was coupled with a storage server with 38 16 terabyte hard drives. One of the 30 of these 34 hard drives are used for swapping, and the fourth and 4 hard drives offering 64 terabytes of storage were used for Pi storage. Just saving 62.8 trillion digits needs a lot of space, obviously. You good there?
Yeah. I'm just kind of
just like impressed by the stupidity.
Yeah. It's wow.
Yep, the research opted not to use SSDs since their performance may be inconsistent. Instead, accessing 34 terabytes of high-performance 7200 RPM hard drives in parallel, providing about 8.5 gigabytes of throughput, which is actually really solid still.
Solid.
These two machines consume 730 watts of power, which is actually surprisingly low, not going to lie. Split up among 300... Well, okay, it doesn't have a GPU, so that's actually about in line. It's split among 300 watts for the compute systems and 430 watts for the storage machines. To verify the correctness of the newly calculated digits, the researchers used Bailey-Brownwine or Borwine, I don't know, formula that can compute any position in the pi number without calculating all preceding digits. Impressive. Meanwhile, since calculating even a single digit of pi is very computationally intensive, only some of the last digits of pi are verified at a time. Pi calculation records have been little Stop. This video started playing. Pi calculating records have been little practical use, but what they can determine is how correctly a particular system can make calculations over a long period of time, in this case, over a 108-day period. The previous Pi record was set by Timothy McCullen, and it featured 50 trillion digits and took 303 days to complete. So yeah, it's a nice benchmark to be able to see how fast something can be done and how accurate something can be done.
But completely useless otherwise.
Completely useless otherwise.
It's like we can do nothing else with this number, but it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. So good job, AMD. I'm sure you spent billions and billions in R&D on your EPYC processors just to be able to compare or, calculate digits of pi faster than Intel.
Paid off.
Yeah. Good job. How's the enterprise market share looking there, buddy?
It's still growing.
How's the GPU supply going? Ooh, not great.
Not great for NVIDIA either.
Better than AMD though.
They said NVIDIA has said they're going to be struggling through 2022, which could have been that could be a news topic if we want to talk about that later. But I mean, it's literally the world's largest stick measuring contest.
It's kind of funny.
It
actually,
is.
Like,
I just really enjoy the absolute nonsense that it is, because there's no practical use. There's no reason this should be done, but people want to do it anyways.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my god.
It's just like, a random Japanese university just shoving as much data as possible through a fiber optic cable, and
It was
then
like 463 terabits or terabytes. I forget if it was
terabits a second. Yeah.
Yeah. Impressive.
Divide that by 8 is how many terabytes.
Can I get that hooked up in my house?
He just pipe that directly.
But yeah, I mean, it's a cool piece of like fancy stuff. Like, hey, look what this can do. But I don't know. I just don't like the idea of it. It's just like it's just here to just take up space.
Yeah.
All right. How about
who supplies AMD with their stuff? TSMC.
Hey, on to our next topic here. Well, specifically, yes, TMC does provide the information, but they've been having a little bit of a power struggle recently within their internal systems. Specifically, the title here, TSMC's U.S. fab is top priority, assured former chairman toppled in a power bid. Oh, whoa.
So this happened, apparently.
Well, this did happen. You know what's also one of the issues that why supply is so hard to get right now is because their die sizes are getting so much bigger, and you can only make so many wafers at a time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So diving into the article itself and actually staying on topic, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, major supplier for its planned U.S. fab. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Jiangxi Hunting System Integration Company.
Thank you. Has assured customers and investors that the facility remains in its top priority. The company underwent a power struggle earlier in Taiwan today, which led to significant changes in its board of directors and management and resulted in its chairman being replaced. Earlier today being about 2 or 3 days ago. And Hantong is responsible for helping TSMC set up environmentally controlled clean rooms inside its chip fabrication facilities, and the assurance came in the form of a statement made by the company's largest investor and new chairperson. Today's news marks the accumulation of a months-long power struggle at the company, which saw its largest shareholder, Miss Li Huan, I'm apologize if I mispronounce anything.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Succeed in her bid to replace the board of directors with a consortium of representatives of investment banks and industry members. Following today's shareholder meeting, which took a vote to elect the new board members, Ms. Huen also successfully became Hantong's new chairperson.
Oh, okay. It's not TSMC having the power struggle. It's
Their partner.
it's the Hantong System Integration Company, which supplies their clean rooms.
Yeah.
So it's not TSMC themselves.
Are they?
It's one of their
well, the
suppliers.
question then becomes: is it a like a sister company to TSMC or like?
No, it's a different company. It's a very strong partner.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's. Yeah. Okay. That headline does not.
Yeah. New
The
chair.
headline is not very clear.
Obviously not. The new chairperson of TSMC's clean room supplier issued the statement. The company's current, the WCCF thing makes it weird. The company's current chairperson, Mr. Chao Shui-shen, gains prominence after its founder passed away in 2015. He and Hantong's former general manager are credited for spearheading the company's entrance into the modern era since then, which has seen it become the supplier for several semiconductor firms, including TSMC. Mr. Xiao Shui left the company after the board elected Miss Huen, I'm so bad at pronouncing names, as the chairperson today, despite industry reports suggesting a broad list of future plans that the executives have for its employees, customers, and at Hantong.
Okay.
So with it, so this is not TSMC issuing this statement. It's more the
clean rooms.
the clean room. Yeah, with the TSMC US plan is the first priority for Han and Tong's dynasties, and it's also the most important indicator for subsequent development. There must be no problems. Additionally, the departing executive also shared that the Taiwanese fab has expressed its concerns about management shakeup. And he has assured TSMC's management that the changes would not harm progress for facilities. In his comments after today's meeting, he stated that while intended to retire from the company a year and a half from now, the current state of affairs brought forward the timeline. He also shared that his plans include appointing Mr. Chen Bai-chen. I'm so bad at these. His outgoing general manager as his successor upon retirement. So, this is just another case of headlines being misleading.
I'm not so much a misleading, just as much as unclear, I think. Or
yeah, it's very.
It's some combination of the two.
Yes. It's not technically wrong because the TSMC US fab is a top priority, assured a former chairman toppled in a power bid.
But what that implies
of
is
a
very
different company.
Yeah, but it's like what that implies is very, very different than what actually happened.
Yeah. So it's not as big of a deal as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything should just proceed with no issue on that part.
You would hope.
You could always hope for good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Switch it back to me. Back to you and me. So, I mean, do you think there will be any complications presented by this shakeup?
No. I actually thought this was a much bigger story than before.
Same.
We got into it. So, no. Realistically, I think it's kind of a nothing burger.
Amazing. To be fair, there's not like anything in news this week.
I know. I'm just saying this one's kind of a nothing burger, realistically. Although I do find it kind of interesting. I do find it somewhat interesting that TSMC, I think, chose New York State to do like their fab in, or one of their fabs in, at least. That might be the one they're talking about. And so,
no, well, I know they planned one in Arizona, right?
I know. I don't think this is the Arizona one though.
Okay. I would say I know in Arizona there's going to be one TSMC and I think 2 Intel fabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That is always some fun stuff. Wait, where did that? Okay. I think my Samsung comment was, or thing was deleted earlier for some reason. Yeah, oh well. Well, so no news.
No, essentially, this is nothing burger.
Nothing burger.
Yeah.
Yay!
I am hungry.
Same, bro. Since that we're pushing off everything to later, we can go eat because, they'll be eating without us.
Yeah.
So, once we're done, you want to get something to eat?
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
All right. You know what? We're only 45 minutes in to this podcast. I know, really no real news this week. But we still have can find some other topics if you want to talk about some other things or whatnot.
Well, we do have one more in the doc to hit.
You're right. I completely forgot about that. I've misread. That's what happens when we don't actually do things in order that we put them in the doc.
I know. Anyway.
But just like how, this news topic has been forgotten, Intel's GPU.
Yeah.
So the Intel's Arc GPU, which is they've been developing since I think the XE, will compete with GeForce and Radeon in early 2022. I like how they say GeForce and Radeon and don't just say NVIDIA and AMD.
Right.
That'd make for a much better headline.
Yeah, I'd keep the graphics brand in, bro. Radeon.
But
previously owned by ATI Systems.
Yes. Diving into the news itself, Intel has been working for years to enter the high-end graphics card market to compete with NVIDIA and AMD. And today, those efforts get a name, Intel Arc. Not to be confused with Intel Arc, the site you go to when you need help with Intel's indescribable processor model numbers.
Congrats, you've already failed at branding and the product isn't even released yet or officially unveiled.
This is tech, bro. This we're supposed to fail.
Amazing. Yeah. Incredible.
The earliest Arc product will be released in the first quarter of 2022 and will be based on GPUs codenamed Alchemist, a new, more memorable codename for a GPU previously known as DG2.
Damn it. Okay.
At least it's a better name, bro.
Yeah.
Alchemist it has impact. It has a little bit
of spice to it.
A little bit of mystique. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But the first Arc cards will be followed up a follow-up of sorts to the GG1, a card released only to system builders, which performs a lot like GDDR5 version of NVIDIA's aging low-end GeForce GTX 1030. God, these names are hard sometimes. We don't have spec sheets or any of the Alchemist-based Arc cards yet, but the trailer Intel showed confirmed support of modern GPU features like real-time ray tracing and AI-accelerated supersampling. And that will compete with NVIDIA's DLSS and AMD's Fidelity FX, or FSR as it's also known by. The trailer also showed Arc Silicon running real, if somewhat older games like Forza Horizon 4 and Metro Exodus. To be fair, both those games are still used for benchmarking.
Mm-hmm.
They demonstrated its commitment to the discrete GPU market. Intel has announced several more GPUs codenames that will succeed Alchemist in the coming years, including Battle Mage, Celestial, and Druid. I
love all these.
I love these names, honestly.
I love it. Okay. I'm okay with it now. We're good.
Note both alphabetical order and the high fantasy names. They actually are in alphabetical.
What's E going to be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I assumed something ethereal.
Oh yeah, it'll probably be ethereal actually.
No, but yeah. That would let's. You know what? We'll call it now. E is gonna be ethereal. What do you think F's gonna be? You think it's gonna be a generic?
I think just straight up fantasy.
You think it'd be the fighter, the D&D class?
Maybe that could be. Yeah.
This can be fun.
G is gonna be gnome.
Gnome. But going back to the topic on hand and actually completing the article, Arc will be represent Intel's first serious run at the gaming GPU market, but the company isn't starting from zero. The company has decades of experience in writing and updating graphics drivers, and it is in a habit of releasing both stable driver packages and beta drivers with improvements for specific games, much like AMD and NVIDIA already do. And while it doesn't blow the doors off AMD's integrated GPUs, in its Ryzen APUs, the Intel Iris Xe graphics in the 11th generation core laptops can actually run many games at 1080p or 720p.
Nice.
We don't know anything about performance, pricing, or availability for any ARC cards yet, but if the current GPU shortage extends into early 22, which is at least confirmed by NVIDIA, it will present a unique opportunity for Intel gamers desperate to get their hands on any reasonable competent GPU. Any reasonable competent GPU will more be inclined to take a chance on an Intel card than they might otherwise be. Even relatively lackluster cards like the NVIDIA RTX 3060 and AMD 6600 XT have been quick to sell out in the current markets. So as long as Alchemist doesn't set your computer on fire, so that's actually a good joke, it stands as a reasonable chance of success.
Yeah. People just take what they can get at this point, you know?
I love how this article is written.
Yeah.
Who wrote it? Andrew Cunningham. Props, dude. You wrote a good article.
Yeah.
That was really entertaining to read. But going in, diving into it, do you think Intel may have a chance here?
Oh, definitely, yes. Actually, if they even if it doesn't compete with like AMD or Nvidia's like high end range of stuff and everything, just like getting something that it's like run games reasonably well for most like monitor or most hardware that like your average gamer would need to drive. I think that's going to be good. They might not be as constrained as the supply issues as because Intel is going to be using their own stuff to manufacture their GPUs and whatnot. They're not going to be as constrained in terms of supply issues as NVIDIA or AMD might, because NVIDIA relies on Samsung and AMD relies on TSMC.
Yeah. I also think a great opportunity for Intel with AMD, they have their smart access memory system, or SAM for short, where the GPU communicates with the RAM and it makes it easier, gives you a little performance boost. Great opportunity for Intel to capitalize on that exact same system as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Intel could do some fun stuff of like shortening the instructions pipeline if you have an Intel CPU paired with a GPU. So,
that's gonna be.
Here's an opportunity for that. Yeah.
Because Intel is very good when it comes to their software on that front. So I do not imagine this will be an issue for them to develop good drivers in any capacity.
I think it's really just me. It's like if the rasterization performance is right and the price is right, then I think it's going to be.
I'm also impressed that they're going to try to do ray tracing.
Yeah, it is nice. It's like they're at least doing feature parity with what's existing too. So
they may not be exactly like
as good, but
but they'll have it. Yeah. That's kind of the big thing right now, is just making sure it's the same.
Yeah, I think Intel's big thing going into this was just rasterization performance and not so much though. Even though it'll be nice to have those features on the Intel GPUs, but I still think just drive games, drive games.
It's one of those things that it's a check mark.
Yeah.
That's really what the list is for them right now, for I would imagine on the Intel side. They're not, shooting to have the best performance or shooting to have, the most efficient card, but they're just shooting for something that competes right now, because in this current market AMD and Nvidia are still setting record quarters. I think Nvidia announced their earnings for last quarter and it was it topped it again. So it's one of those things, anybody has a chance right now if they can get in the game, and Intel probably has the best chance out of any company, I would imagine.
Yeah, especially entering into the GPU market.
Oh yeah. So great opportunity. I actually really love the naming scheme of these cards and whatnot.
Yeah, Intel just needs to sell it well. That's the thing.
Yeah, with Intel, they're not gonna have an issue selling it well, because they partner with just about every single esports thing, and they run ads like crazy on everything. So
yeah,
unlike certain other companies. But I'm really excited to see what this presents in the future.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I wonder what the price...
I mean, the alternate reality is Intel just completely shits the bed with this release.
Oh yeah, straight up. That's that is still on the docket. Either this is going to perform like amazing without it, like
yeah, I don't think there's
any
gonna be an
hiccups,
in-between for this one, you know?
or this thing is an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah, there's no in-between.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah. It's glory or turbo food.
True. The Intel is on the cusp of glory or turbo feed, and I really
It's gonna be amazing. Yeah.
The question is like, I wonder what the price point is going to be. Do you think they're going to try to shoot for, well, if they're shooting for, let's say, 1080p performance, which is, a great entry point right now because it still makes up the vast majority of the market. $300, $200?
I think it's going to be probably priced a little bit higher than the 6600 XT, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that's like Intel knows they can get away with it just as long as they supply it.
True. Well, you also have to account for the markups as well, because like why AMD did the markup this time around is, well, both because prices of everything have gone up, so that's no surprise there. But their board partners and retailers are just marking it up afterwards. So who gives a care?
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying. It's like, I think it's like Intel will probably price it above like something like the 6600 XT, assuming they're making a competitor to that and releasing one.
See, I don't think it's going to be on that level though. I think it's
going to be lower or higher?
Lower than a 6600.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be lower.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Or you're also assuming they're just releasing one card though too. I imagine there's going to be a series of cards all sort of in the mid-range.
With it,
you might have one that might punch reasonably high into like 1440p, but again, as I said, I don't think Intel is going to have like a 3080 or 3090 competitor coming out here.
Yeah, so with it, the article does say the first art cards will be a follow-up to sort. So there's going to be multiple in the series.
Yeah.
So I think their biggest point is probably going to be trying to undercut the price just a bit, because that's also a big thing right now. Because I know everything's selling out.
As though it's like, and I'm not saying it's going to be like a huge like price increase. I'm on like an AMD card or something. I'm saying it's like Intel can definitely get away by charging a little bit more than AMD can, just because they know they'll be able to supply it, theoretically. Because it's like, if the supply is there, then...
Well, I mean, we'll see on that front, because they also have to take a current cut out of their supply chain for CPUs to be able to make this. So there's going to be that balancing act, so they can't sacrifice too much now. No. Although, we'll see. Time will tell. Although...
You still haven't fully accepted that the 6600 XT is not a good card.
Okay, it's not that I don't think it's a good card. I think it does what it needs to do. I don't think it excels at it very well.
Everyone else who has reviewed it or analyzed disagrees with you.
What do you mean? Like, I'm saying it's not a good card. I'm just saying that it does what it needs to do, which is compete in the 1080p. That's what it's only designed to do.
At its price point, I don't think it does.
MSRP price points mean nothing right now.
Okay.
That's also a thing that people are failing to consider.
Okay.
Because, I mean, retailers are still marking up GPUs.
Yeah.
So MSRP means nothing to me right now.
Okay, gotcha.
I think that the card is average at best, but it does what it needs to do and it sells, because it's still selling off the shelves like crazy. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
Because people will take literally whatever they can get.
Exactly. That's the entire point. Because they can make more of these with the same wafer compared to a 6800 or 6900.
Right. Yeah.
I think the GPU market is not very pretty right now, but
it's a lovely.
Yeah, we'll see in 2022 when new stuff starts rolling out. Cycles should be kicking around late 2022 for new releases, like the 7000 series from AMD and 4000 from NVIDIA.
Yeah,
should be late 2022, I think. Well, on the topic of that, we can't pull up that one article regarding NVIDIA talking about
supply issues.
Yeah. I'll pull it up real quick, because we're not even we just hit an hour.
Jamie, pull that up. Yeah.
Let me see where I can find it, because I know. There we go. Let's go with Screen Rant. Why not? No, that's not the right article I was looking for. Yeah, there we go. All right, digital trends, because why not? So, news topic here. NVIDIA CEO has foreboding news for PC gamers heading into 2022. After more than a year of chip shortages, price of graphics cards continue to be highly inflated, which yeah, right. While they're, I mean, I don't have anything else that fits in my case outside of a 2070 Super, so I'm fine.
No, I'm okay with where I'm at too. I'm just saying, it's like in general, I don't like seeing the market like this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the market is brutal across the board. There's just no way around it. But both NVIDIA and AMD have taken steps to improve their supply levels, according to Huang. NVIDIA has taken steps to try to combat the current GPU shortage. Despite that, he expects that the graphic card supplies will continue to be low throughout the next year. Meanwhile, we have and are securing pretty significant long-term supply commitments, and as we expand into all these different market initiatives, and we've set ourselves up for. God, that's such a weird sentence. And so I think I would expect that we will see a supply contained environment for the vast majority of next year, is my guess the moment. Huang made a similar prediction in 2020 when he stated that the demand for GPUs will outstrip their supply for all of 2021, which it turned out to be true. And it's likely that this expectation will come true as we are closing in on September and the situation continues to be dire. So basically, it's in 2022, we're fucked.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to it. But it's... Yeah. I mean, you know, he has a pulse on the entire system, so I trust what he has to say. If he says we're going to struggle in 2022, it'd be the way it is.
Yeah, I think the question is more of just like how long in 2022 will it be? You know, that might be the point here.
Jensen has, you know, he's got an idea because he plans to step out freaking up to 5 years, to 5 years, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And it's just not looking good because the demand is just still so freaking high. I mean, they just need to match the supply to the demand for the moment.
Yeah.
Which with the type of, I mean, fabs take multiple years to build. So.
Yeah, but that might also be a trap too, because the demand will probably be expected to go down over the next couple of years. So completely over ratcheting for supply right now is not quite the wisest investment. I can see it being a good and bad thing, because if demand does go down, it also offers you the opportunity to be able to have fabs that just their sole reason to exist is like experimentation and refinement processes, as where they like most companies don't really have that opportunity outside of TSMC with developing their 2, 3, and 5 nanometer stuff. But most companies don't really have room to breathe right now to be able to try to refine their stuff a bit more. So having that bit of breathing room, if they did build more fabs, would be nice to see. I mean, that's kind of the bulk of it there. Right.
Where do you think we'll be by 2023?
NVIDIA just announced their 4080 Ti. I don't know. No, I don't know. I think things might ratchet down to somewhat of like 2019 levels in 2023.
It really depends on like when the
or it might be more normalized sort of thing. You know, it might be more normalized.
I think we've plateaued at least
I think
to the demand aspect.
But I just think it's gonna be a much slower recovery than what people want or we're hoping for.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what we're wrestling with here. So
it really depends on the lockdowns and when people are going, because when people are being sent back to their relative workplaces and things like that, there is going to be another spike in demand for PC components.
Especially for enterprise stuff too.
So it's really just going to be,
we have to make it through that, and I think we'll be good from there.
Yeah. Then the question, in the end becomes, when is that going to happen? Topic for a
Nobody
different day.
knows. Yeah, nobody knows.
Hi,
We're not
Scarlett.
allowed to discuss that on YouTube, apparently.
Scarlett, you have stuff on your nose. Come here. Come here, dog. She has stuff on her nose. I'm trying to get it off. There we go. But what's your dog doing?
Chewing on her nails.
Usual.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I think that just about covers it for everything we wanted to talk about this week. Is there any other topics you want to talk about? Maybe tech or not, and more back-end channel stuff.
Samsung, if you kill the Note, I'm switching to like literally anyone else. Anyway,
Apple.
Apple or not OnePlus. I don't know.
I'll switch to anyone. Not OnePlus though.
Not OnePlus.
Freedom Phone.
No. Most of the Chinese companies are out to. I'll get screw it. I'll do Pixel. Go to Pixel.
Oh, that sounds like the worst
That's
of them all.
unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So yeah, I guess we'll start recapping it for the end here. Pull that up here. So,
hold that up, Jamie.
Hold it up. Oh, you started to fall.
Oh, okay.
I tried bringing her into frame and she started to fall a bit.
Pull that up, Scarlett.
Pull it up, Scarlett. Here you go. All right. Oh, sorry, I got a little bit of hair in my mouth there. But as of course, as we recap here, Taylor, where can the good people find you on the internet?
Find me on Twitter at INFERIUS7809. Mostly anime stuff over there, so go hit me up there.
Cool. And if you wish to find me, you could find me at Twitter at at filmed by G-Man.
It is pretty much your life. What are you talking about?
True. But if you wish to follow the social media accounts for our YouTube channel and things like that, Twitter at tech_4, the number 4_thought, and Instagram is tech_4, spelled FOR_thought. With it, if you do think we've earned it, we always ask that you do just subscribe and give us that little bit of recognition there, and see when we go live and whatnot. And video postings, we're one away from a funny number, so hey, you want to be that guy,
That lucky guy or gal who gets us to the funny number.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But if tech is not necessarily the thing, and you're more of a video game guy,
go to Culture Gaming. I forgot that's my cue. Go to culturegaming.com to do game news, reviews, opinion pieces. Gonna try to work on it when things get a little bit more stable here. So yeah.
Well, I think we're starting to reach a nice balance point with the channel and whatnot, and getting it organized there. So I think we're doing pretty solid.
So,
but yeah, I think that will do it this time around. So as of course, we do thank you for watching today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.